Happy Friday, everybody. Peace and blessings to you. This one is probably gonna be a long one. Y'all know I'm not a lengthy person, but just want to share some things with y'all, right? So I would say the last 2 weeks of June up until maybe Tuesday of last week, I started noticing my symptoms that got bad. I'm talking about very overwhelmed, burnout, anxious, not sleeping well, irritable, agitated, aggravated, rainfall. I mean, it was bad. I mean, sometimes I would just start crying for no reason. So I started this devotional Sunday, I think it was. I think it was a 7-day devotional. It was called Less Hurry, More Peace. Man, and the more I read that thing, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been sabotaging myself this entire time. A behavior I learned and picked up from childhood. I carried it all over these years. That's the reason I was in bad shape at that time. And it was almost like a build up too, because it had been going on for a couple of months. But that last 2 weeks or so of June, up until around like last Tuesday or so, was the worst ever. Anxious. I mean, very anxious. So somewhere, I mean, I don't know where I picked it up from, but as far as I can remember, maybe back to like second or third grade, I was never a procrastinator. So if I was given a task, my brain is registering, you need to get this done. You need to make sure it's right, but you need to stay on top of it. So I've learned this behavior from adolescence to adulthood, right? So I have a lot of moving pieces with my job, right? So I'm a QP with my own caseload, 27 clients. I'm the QP, I don't really like to say supervisor, I like to say job coach, for a peer support team. I'm the QP for an intensive in-home therapy team, which provides therapy and services for our youth. I am the records management person. I am a certified and active peer support specialist, and I write person-centered plans. Now, yes, that does follow under what a QP does. However, all of our initial person-centered plans, I write them for our whole agency. I actually like them. I actually like doing it. And then I write other person-centered plans for our other office as well. No complaints about it because I enjoy it. But I'm just telling you, these are the moving pieces, right? So sometimes, let's say for my particular office, we may have maybe two. And then another office reaches out and they have two. So I got a total of four. And with person-centered plans, you have a certain amount of time to get them in. So that plus my other duties that I need to do. So my brain is kicking in, and you got to get these done. I'm talking about they would send them and I would knock them out. And they would, this and again, I just fought myself. And they were like, Jennifer, you didn't have to send them back the same day. My mind said, no, I want to go ahead and do it because, I don't want nobody calling me, reaching out to me, wondering where such and such is. I want to get it done. They were like, okay. But remember, you have time. I heard it But this behavior of that I learned of making sure something's done, like right then, I heard it and I didn't hear it because that I was still doing that same behavior. But that plan made me realize I was sabotaging myself. I remember I don't know if I was driving to work or if I was driving to church, but I remember thinking, God, if something don't give, God, if you don't step in and heal my brain, God, I feel like I'm gonna end up with, you know, maybe some possible, maybe a brain disease or something when, as I age, because it felt like there was a filter in my brain, but wasn't nothing getting through. So in other words, one day I noticed I knew what I had to do because I was looking at my to-do list. I just sat there. Sure did. I sat there at my desk, knowing what I was supposed to do, but it was like the hamster. It was just in the wheel. It won't move. The wheel won't move, and the hamster won't either. And that scared me. So, brain disease. Listen, you don't have to be an elder or a senior to be diagnosed with things like that. Because I know I'm 49. A young lady testified at church maybe I guess maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm thinking that she's my age or maybe a couple of years younger. God healed her, but she sure was diagnosed with a form of dementia. Yeah. So I just kind of felt like my brain, it wasn't healthy. And then another thing, my allergies have been acting crazy. I've never been bothered with allergies this time of year, but my allergies was flared up. So that had my head feeling like sinus pressure or about to have a head cold or something. So I had that on top of my brain already overwhelmed. I tell you what, Sunday was the first devotional I read. My work is hybrid. So typically I go in twice a week to my work office. Y'all, I went in 3 days back to back. I ain't never did that ever in the history of being there. Do you hear me? Man, I read that devotional. Listen, that thing said, less hurry, more peace. When I tell you the work tasks that I had, now I got them accomplished, but rushing the door, so didn't. Now I'm not saying I'm lazy or I was lazy or my work ethic changed. My brain was registered. Take your time. Chill. Normally, I would try to push through, even if I knew I was tired. It got to get done. This paperwork, it has to be done. Got to be right. This week, uh-uh. When I looked at the clock, whatever time it was, if it was 3:30, and my brain was getting tired, shoot, I shut that computer down. I got my car and went home. Wednesday, I think it might have. I think I got there maybe like 10:30 or so, and so I'm into the groove of my work, taking my time. I looked up. It was almost 5 o'clock. And there was one more thing that I needed to do, but my brain was like, no, man, I don't listen. I don't produce. All I can do today, you know what I did? Packed my stuff up, got in my car, went home, took me a shower, got me some dinner, and got my hand pulled in the bed. I was in the bed by 7 o'clock. This week has been the best sleep, actually rest. There's a difference between sleep and rest. I keep telling y'all this. This is the most rest my brain and my body has felt probably in 4 to 6 months. maybe a little longer. So I'm just going to be very mindful and intentional because that learned behavior, I felt like I was always pouring out, but I never got poured back into. Uh-uh. Yeah. I will not be rushed to do anything. I'd rather take my time and have the peace versus let me hurry up and knock this out and trying to push through. Knowing my brain tired. I said, oh no, you ain't got to worry about that happening no more. I'm going to take better care of my brain. And so I got back on my morning moringa supplements, and I try not to take too many supplements because sometimes you take too many. But morning moringa is my main go-to. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all. Sometimes just sit down and do a self-reflection and see if a behavior or something that you learned somewhere along the way, is that the root cause of why you act the way that you did? I, you know, I just gotta just tell y'all how it is. I think that's why I can kind of jail. There ain't no kind of in it. I have some type of connection with all 27 clients on my caseload, and definitely my client was peer support because when they share things, I let them talk. I let them share their lived experience. I let them talk. I don't tell them what they need to do, but I will connect them to some resources. I try not to push what I feel is best for them. I'm asking them, well, what can I do to help? What do you think is best? And they'll tell me, well, I need to be connected to, you know, I need the phone number for fire so I can reach out to them to see about such and such. Okay, boom, here we go. Here's the phone number. You want to do a practice phone call? So I have some kind of connection again with all of them because some of the things that they have been through, I've been through. So I can kind of somewhat relate and resonate to how they feel. And so in order for me to be effective, family, let me back in. In order for me to be effective, God first, my family, my man, job. Mm-mm. I cannot rush and overwhelm my brain and constantly pour out, pour out, pour out. I can't do that. And I won't do that anymore. Last week, man, I had a ball. Let me see. Actually, I take that back when I said about sleep. Actually, Friday was when I noticed that my sleep had changed. That was Friday night, Saturday night. I drank some magnesium powder, so that helped me to sleep. But it's just something about that particular devotional and the scripture that went with it. I know that was all God. I mean, I could drink magnesium powder from here to next week, but that healing came from God. My mind has been restored. Like my body feels better. My natural energy is back. So again, sit down sometimes. Just kind of do a self-reflection whenever you may feel like stress and anxiety and get to the root cause because it could be a behavior that you learned. So now that I have done a self-reflection and realized it was a behavior I learned way back when I was a kid, I unlearned just that quick, just by reading a devotion. And this has been the best, one of the best weeks I've had in a very long time, as far as emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Just tapping into my devotions and talking with the Lord and drinking water and tending to my business, which is that part normal, the drinking water, minding my business. But I had to pour into myself. So this week, I felt more effective with my work tasks. Gotta work more. Easily. Well, I gotta be back within a radius. But yeah, I feel pretty good. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all. And so I hope that everybody has a blessed weekend. Peace and blessings until next time. Thank you. Have a great weekend.